not going anywhere.
No, no, not at all. He's happy here. He loves the team as much as people don't think so. He does love the fans. There's fans that, I mean,
Oh, that was like a little spot. I mean, that was not nothing really.
no, it wasn't. I mean, it's look, I hell, there's been times that I do my best to keep my mouth shut, but I'm unfiltered. I'll say things to people that maybe sometimes I shouldn't say. But at times, people just go overboard. So it's going to happen. Everybody has their limit, and um, regardless of how you look at it, it happened. It's over with. He loves the city. He loves the people. He loves the guys he
Mm-hmm.
plays with. He's never felt so comfortable. So
I mean, I'm telling you, man, this defense is spectacular. The front four is nice. The linebacker crew is nice. The
yeah,
safety, the cornerback room is just phenomenal.
yeah,
I mean, just looking at this team in general, I'm like, wow, we are really set up. And Matthew, Country Boy, you know who he is on Twitter.
oh
He
yeah,
asked, saw the thing about the cap, and we'll get to it there, and we keep talking about that. But basically said, he said something to Matthew. Matthew said, sign 35. That means Ward. Ward
yeah.
deserves to be paid.
He
Ward is
does,
probably one of the most consistent cornerbacks we have had. He is really good. He's been my most consistent cornerbacks.
man. He's been my boy since day one, and you
Oh yeah,
know
you've
that.
been championing him the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, I've always had a love for that guy. He's always been a consistent player. He's always been just, and it's not even his backstory's phenomenal. I mean, amazing, but it's the fact that he doesn't complain. He goes out and he does his job. He does it very consistently. He doesn't listen to all the rhetoric, and he doesn't. He's very humbled, and I just like his demeanor. I like him as a person, and I like him as a player. And he deserves to be on this football team. He's very comfortable where he's at. He doesn't care what these wannabe cornerbacks say that are sitting on the couch eating Ben and Jerry's. He cares about what he does, and he does it at a very high level. People could say what they want. I don't care what stats say. He's a lot better than 26th in the league. Just because he doesn't have all these interceptions doesn't mean he's not good.
Yeah.
So because there's a lot more to that position than just ints. Um, but yeah, I'm very ecstatic with what this defense has done. It's the last 6 weeks have been a turnaround that we knew was going to be a turnaround, but we didn't know it was going to be this much of a turnaround.
That's true.
And
Yeah.
and the people that are out there saying that we haven't really played anybody, you're absolutely wrong. You're absolutely wrong because we played the Dallas Cowboys. We shut them down to 9 points. Yeah, they were missing one wide receiver. One. That's it. One wide receiver.
The Packers saw their same weapons besides Aaron Rodgers.
Exactly. So, uh, you know, I understand Aaron Rodgers is a big part of that offense, but you know, quarterbacks are quarterbacks. It is what it is. If you're in a situation and you're throwing the ball, regardless if it's Aaron Rodgers or if it's somebody. I mean, look what Chad Henne did when he came in for Mahomes.
Yeah.
You seen what he did. I mean, he threw the ball. He made a nice, great throw. I mean, it's it's all about if you have the same weapons and you're out there doing the same thing. If you're just trying to be consistent, you can play a lot better. If you're trying to be Aaron Rodgers, then go sit back down because you're not Aaron Rodgers. And if that was his mistake, that's on them. But every team has injuries. Every team goes through something. We went through it. We went through a lot this year, a lot more than anybody else even knows. And we're still number one in the AFC West right now. Or now we are number one in the AFC West. And we're up there by a pretty good margin. So what is the Chargers record right now?
I believe they are 7-5, but let me check. They are 8-5. My bad. They are
They're
8-5.
Okay. So the Bills are 7-6, is that right?
Bills are 7-6.
And they're a wild card now, right?
Yeah, Bills are a wild card.
Yeah, so they went from being the favorites to go to the Super Bowl to a wild card. That's I mean, no matter how you look at it. I mean, Kyle Brandt thought they were going to the Super Bowl. They were the team to go to the Super Bowl this year, and they're a wild card now.
I knew they weren't going to Super Bowl when the Steelers shut them down.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
first week, I was like, yeah, they're not doing
No.
that.
No. It is what it is. So there's been this is, and I think that's what's made the NFL fun this year, is the fact that, you know, we had a really tough schedule. Really, we've had a tough schedule given the fact that even within our own division, we had some pretty tough teams for the most part. Really, the Raiders started off really well. They did fall apart, but the Chargers are no joke. We've had to play the Ravens, the Chargers, the Bills, the Cowboys. We've played some tough teams. And for the most part, we've weathered the storm that we had to go through. And now, where are we at, Caleb? Where are we at?
Good spot. We only
We're in a good
lost
spot.
9-4.
9-4.
Good spot.
So we get past Thursday night. I still think this just mimics 19, but in a better position because it's a lot better defense than it was in 19.
I would agree. It's a lot better. We can get
So-
consistent pressure on the quarterback. It seems like we need it.
Yeah, I agree. So, COVID, what do you think? What do you think
What?
about this? What do you think about this COVID thing? What's your
Oh, well,
opinion
I
on
mean,
it?
it's that time of the year. I mean, it's gonna be interesting what happens to these NFL teams because, like you saw, 75 positive. Well, it's about 75 positives. So I wouldn't be surprised if the next couple weeks it's crazy. Even going to the playoffs, it might be bad. But the Chiefs are one of the best teams, they said. So I'm not really worried. But we'll see what happens. I mean, this is at this
Cleveland's
point,
got
it's nothing you
7,
can
right?
really do. Huh?
Cleveland's got 7 players on COVID,
Yeah.
7 or 8.
Yeah, at this point, it's like there's nothing you can really do. You can just only do what you can do. And I guess Andy is probably now preaching that to him, like, "Hey, we're trying to get through, get to Super Bowl. We have a really good shot." Because last thing you want is for someone to do something, get COVID, and then get Mahomes sick, and then you'd lose a playoff game because person didn't want to follow protocols that
Exactly.
Andy Veach and Clark Hunt set in place.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know if that's going to happen, but you never know. I mean, it's a team game. One person drops the ball, y'all lose.
Yeah.
Have you seen the movie The Titans? One person drops the ball, you run a mile. One person fumbles the ball, you run a mile.
Yeah.
Basically, if anyone does something that's going to mess with the team, they're also going to mess them up. So at this point, I don't really know what they can do. The Chiefs have done a pretty good job these last couple of years, I think. Yeah, we had people on Chris Jones is on the protocols, meaning that he is not COVID. He doesn't have it. He's just in the protocol. So if he tests negative twice, 24 hours, he'll probably travel with the team tomorrow. Gordon, he's not going to play because he's tested positive for COVID. So I think at this point, this guy played week by week. I mean, that move today by Veach to get another person, I think was pretty good because you never know that a Bucker were to go out. You never know. So
yeah. And, you know, I feel bad for Josh because he was just starting to get, in my opinion, he was starting to get into his groove and he was starting to get to that point where he should have been really 4 weeks ago. And now he's got COVID, so he's out a week. And it could be, hopefully it's not longer than a week. And he is vaccinated, by the way, you guys. So,
well, you can still get stuff if you're vaccinated.
yeah,
but
you can. So that will
I'm
help.
not saying that. I'm just saying for people in general
Yeah.
acting like it's elixir. It's not a magical
Exactly.
elixir.
It's exactly.
I've taken the flu vaccine and gotten the flu before. So.
Yeah, the one and only time I ever got the flu vaccine, I was sick for a week the day after, and I never got it again. But and that was just from my own perspective, but because I never get the flu, so I go get the flu shot. My wife talks me into it, and then I get the flu for a week afterwards. And I go, okay, I'm never doing this again. I don't get the flu anyway. But regardless, so I think it's going to shorten the time that he has COVID because he does have the vaccine.
Probably, yeah.
So I think that was kind of my point. And the fact that the people out there that wanted to deny the fact that he had it, because there was a lot of people saying that, you know, there were some people out there saying he probably pulled an Antonio Brown and had a fake vaccine card and all this other crap that people want to spew out there. But
I don't think Josh Gordon's going to do that the many times he's ended on the exempt list. So I don't think
Exactly,
he's
no.
that silly
no, he's not.
to begin with.
No, he's not.
So,
And honestly, he's been in trouble a lot, but he's still not as dumb as Antonio Brown.
Mhm.
I mean, he's
This is
never
for
done
weed.
anything.
Antonio
Yeah.
Brown has some stuff that hasn't been
Exactly.
Right.
I mean, you get in trouble for, going to GNC and smoking pot, but doing the things that Antonio Brown's done and is still in trouble for. And that just kind of blows my mind that Tom Brady still allows him in his house after the things he's in trouble for right now. That kind of makes me kind of wonder what kind of person, what goes on in Tom Brady's house. But regardless, that's another story for another year. But moving forward, you had something else you wanted to talk about. What was that?
Oh, the cap.
Yes, the cap.
Mm-hmm.
So Pelissero put out today that projected numbers were 208, right?
Yeah, 208 million.
Yeah. Understand, people, that as projected numbers. It could go up from there. That really kind of means it probably most likely won't go down. The only way that it could go down is if, God forbid, another year of COVID would happen. I mean, like we had in 19 or in, yeah, basically 19 and 20, but it definitely can go up. So I did speak with someone that's within that realm, and he's usually pretty accurate. At one point, he told me it was up close to 226. So it
Wouldn't
could go up
surprise me.
as high as 226. So there's some room there that it can go up. It can go up to 215, 218. It could stay at 208. It could go up to 226. But that is huge, huge. I don't think people understand how much that impacts this football team going forward. And it's going to go up every year with these new CBAs. So it's for anybody that doesn't understand how it works, it's a percentage increase every year. We're getting a little bit smaller increase just because of the way everything happened with COVID. We got really no increase last year.
It actually dropped.
It dropped. So we're basically picking up what we lost last year, and going forward, we will be picking up more and more each year as it goes on. So that gives us so much more room to not only re-sign players, but to bring in more players that will only benefit the team. It helps with draft. It helps with everything. I mean, it's a huge boost. And then we have all the other revenue that's coming in now with our partnerships with everybody that we partnered with.
Yep.
So, which doesn't really affect the cap, but it does help with everything else that goes along with what this team is trying to do. And that's put us on the map from this low market football team that we were for all those years to the team that we are today. And we're just going to continue to climb. We're not that low market football team anymore.
We're up there.
We're up there now. I can remember, days like, it's kind of comical, off subject, but I remember back in the baseball days, my baseball days, the Royals had a $43 million budget for the year. And
43
$43 million, dude.
That's
That's
small.
Dude, you don't understand. That included players, managers, coaches, everybody. And the Yankees at the time were like $180 million, $200 million, something like that. Because, they were worth so much more money. Their market share was huge. And plus their ownership had a lot more money at the time. So that's why we were always such a low budget, low market football or baseball team.
That's something that made no sense to me. After they won the World Series, you would think the cap would go up for them, but it didn't even do anything. It just kind of amazed me. It's kind of
They
like,
didn't really have a cap though.
They don't have a cap, but you would think they would get some more money, but it didn't. And that's one thing I think is interesting about football is that we have a cap. So it's not one team's over the other. Because if it was like that, I mean, these West Coast teams and then the Cowboys would be signing everyone to these record-breaking deals.
Yeah. And that's the one thing that I think, baseball's tried to shy away from because they don't, and it's been rough because it really hurts a lot of the other teams like the Twins and the Royals and teams like that never really had the money or the ownership to come in. They wanted to step into a small market and put in, the money that it took to be able to sign these style players and have that budget to be able to make them that type of